Which NFL player was better, Aaron Donald or J.J. Watt? This is a debate that needs to be broken down into two separate categories. Which one had the better prime and which one had the better overall career? Now, we're going to start this debate off where most people end up losing the debate, and that is that most people automatically say Aaron Donald was better because their numbers career wise are very similar. However, Aaron Donald was a D tackle and JJ Watt was a D end. Let's just put an end to this argument real quick because the people who use that as an argument automatically lose. JJ Watt was a 3-4 D end. He was not a 4-3 D end. These are two completely different positions. A 3-4 D end, as this says, is a bigger, stronger player focused on anchoring the line of scrimmage, similar to an interior tackle, like Aaron Donald. Goes on to say a 3-4 D end versus a 4-3 D tackle. Both are space eaters responsible for controlling gaps, occupying blockers, and stopping the run. 3-4 DEs are usually 300 plus pounds and play a two-gap system, making them function closer to a 4-3D tackle, particularly the one technique, nose position. And then it goes on to compare a 3-4D end to a 4-3D end. These positions are very different. A 4-3D end is usually 260 to 280 edge rusher, like Julius Peppers, while let's read the highlighted part here, a 3-4D end is closer to 300 plus pounds, interior player, like JJ Watt. So if you're using the argument that one plays more inside while the other one got to play outside, you've already lost that argument. But let's keep going down the rabbit hole between these two players. The next argument you'll hear from people who choose Aaron Donald is that he is double and triple teamed almost every possession, sometimes even quadruple teamed, like in this photo, which is true. But the same goes for JJ Watt. As we just saw, he played a lot inside, but he also did move outside some. But the offensive line would change their protection to where JJ Watt was. It didn't matter where he lined up, as the next example shows. Even if JJ did line up outside, he was still getting coverage like this, quadruple teamed by the Bengals. Both players faced constant double and triple teams, sometimes even quadruple teams. So, you cannot use this argument for or against either one as well, as both were double and tripled all the time. So let's get into the first topic. Who had the better prime? This is clearly JJ Watt if you compare the 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards JJ had versus the 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards Aaron Donald had. JJ's numbers stack up. Let's just get into them. First off, let's compare the best season for Aaron Donald versus the best season for JJ Watt. Aaron Donald in his best season didn't receive a single MVP vote in the NFL. Not a single one. He was an amazing defensive player, but he was not able to get a single MVP vote in his best season. You compare that to JJ Watt's best season in 2014, where he received 13 of the 50 first place votes, finishing second in the MVP race behind Aaron Rodgers. And anybody who watched this 2014 season from JJ Watt knows that he should have won MVP that year. He was absolutely robbed. JJ finished with 20 and a half sacks that season. He finished with 5 touchdowns, 2 on defense, 3 on offense. He was the league leader in tackles for loss that season. And then he also had, this is crazy, 10 pass breakups as a lineman and 1 interception. So he had 11 total pass defense plays in the 2014 season, which would have ranked him, and get this guys, he would have been ranked in the top 30 of all defensive backs for pass breakups. The top 30 as a lineman. That is ridiculous. Now, I told you that 2014 season, Watt had 20 and a half sacks. He's also the only player in NFL history with 2 20-sack seasons. The only one. Now, Aaron Donald did have a 20-sack season as well, but JJ has 2 of them. Now let's get into tackles for loss. JJ Watt And this, I think, is something that's even more not talked about that really needs to be because it's absolutely incredible. Up until Myles Garrett's season last year, JJ Watt had the top 3 tackle for loss seasons in NFL history. Now he's got 3 of the top 4 because of Myles Garrett's season last year. But 3 of the top 4 is absolutely insane. Aaron Donald's top TFL season doesn't come in until number 10, which means JJ has 3 seasons better than Aaron Donald's best TFL season. You combine the TFLs with the sack numbers and the primes, and we're not even counting. Then you go into the touchdowns Watt was able to get, the turnovers, the passes defensed. It's just, this isn't even a debate. Like, it's obviously JJ Watt who had the better prime. So let's get into who had the better career. So off the top of your head, I think most people just looking back without looking at numbers are going to say Aaron Donald definitely had the better career. He won a Super Bowl. Now we're going to keep Super Bowls out of it because that's a team award. That's not an individual player award. But Aaron Donald does have that in his corner. He did win a Super Bowl. People are going to think of the J.J. Watt injuries and the fact that Aaron Donald seems like he stayed a lot more healthy over the length of his career. And so just thinking about it without looking at numbers, most people are probably going to say Aaron Donald had the better career. So let's look at the career numbers. I think this graphic is going to shock a lot of you guys. Aaron Donald played 3 more games than JJ Watt did over his career. Yet he has less interceptions, less sacks, less forced fumbles, less fumble recoveries, less tackles overall. JJ Watt wins in every category career-wise. Now again, a lot of these people are going to go, well, this is a D tackle versus a D end. We've already ended that argument. Both got double and triple and quadruple teamed. Both played interior positions. Watt was a 3-4 D end, not a 4-3 D end. He played a lot more inside. Now, Watt had the ability to move all over the line, so maybe you want to use that as an argument against him because he did go line up outside sometimes. But again, as I showed, the offensive line would know where J.J. Watt was, and they shifted their coverage to J.J. Watt. It's just a fact. So, with these career numbers, as they are showing, with the clear difference that J.J. Watt has in the prime over Aaron Donald, you can call me biased if you want. I'm sure you saw my Houston gear. But it's clear as day. I'm not over here saying, for instance, Andre Johnson is better than players like Calvin Johnson. I don't make that argument. In fact, I would say Andre Johnson, he's got quite a few receivers that have been better than him over the years, although if you want to start comparing QBs and whatnot, but I'm not over here saying Andre Johnson's the best. JJ Watt, it's clear to me. It's clear he was the better player. He's in my opinion the best defensive player potentially in NFL history, definitely top 3. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.